What's up, everybody? We are back here, and boy, do we have something special.
OGD.
That's right.
You down with OGD?
He brought an old dusty OGD. Woo! We're about to find out which one we like better. The old school OGD or the current offering? The current offering of OGD.
Oh, granddad.
Let's get into it. So, our good friend Jeff is kind enough to bring one of his discoveries.
Yes, one of these old dusties that was in the family for a number of years. Sadly, grandparents passed away, and during the cleanup process, ran across one of these old dusties. And saving a little bit for my father-in-law, but sharing some with my friends, as we like to do with our bourbon, right? And learning a little bit more about Old Granddad, Old GD, one of the olds, similar to Old Overholt, which is their rye. And this particular bourbon named after the same person that is named after Basil Hayden.
Dang.
Meredith Basil Hayden.
That's crazy.
So, in 1992, that's when Beam, created the Basil Hayden brand. It's actually, this juice is the actual same distillate as Basil Hayden. So aged at different years, so there is definitely a difference. And obviously, bourbon changes its character and whatnot while it's in the barrel. And what's interesting is depending on the year in which it was made, and obviously this was made older than what this OGD happens to be.
I just got this last week, so it's pretty new.
And I just found this a month or two ago, and it was already open.
Oh,
that was
right
kind
on.
of interesting, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't actually get a chance to crack the seal, which is part of the reason why part of it has been shared already. Because trying a dusty for the first time is actually pretty cool.
Iconic.
Yeah, and this is an iconic bourbon. It's been in popular culture in the 80s when it was considered a little bit more of a premium brand. It was featured on in the Love Boat and on MASH.
Oh, wow.
It's been referenced in a Giant Stein book. It's been referenced in music. George Thorogood references it, and I drink alone. Right? That old granddad's in there. Skinner and AC/DC. I think probably my favorite is some of the other TV shows is Mad Men.
Oh, really?
Apparently, there's an episode where Roger orders "Granddad rocks." I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna say that in a bar someday. I think.
Let's go.
I don't know when, but that is happening. So, and of course, I love Basil Hayden when I first kind of started dabbling into bourbon. It's 80 proof and tasty.
That's fire.
And not as familiar with Old Granddad here, but excited to kind of see the difference through what you bought and what's been sitting in the cupboard for a number of years.
Now, we've had both of these blinded for us. We don't know which of these is in which glass. And we're going to try and figure out, basically, did they make it better back in the day than they are right now?
That's the key question. And can we snuff it out? Now,
Right.
there's a slight difference in proof in what we're looking at.
Right.
Because this one here is an 80, correct?
Just 80. Yep.
And so today they make Old Granddad in 80, 100.
Mm-hmm. We happen to have it right here.
Woo!
And a good old 114.
Look at that, 114.
The whole crew. The whole crew's here.
Yeah, and they used to make it 86. So at some point, I think it was like 1987 or something like that, they dropped it from, I think it was 2013, they dropped it from 86 to 80 as their standard. So in terms of us trying to figure out which is which, 6 points of proof,
It's gonna be tough.
It's still pretty close.
My palate's not that good. My, what you would call it, meter.
Now, this is considered a high rye bourbon.
Okay.
Right? Regular rye being somewhere between 12 and 15%, high rye being in that 27 to 30. In fact, Basil Hayden is even marketed that way as a high rye.
Right on.
Even though that is, its standard is an 80 proof. So mash bill being 63% corn, 27% rye, and 10% malted barley.
What are you feeling on the nose? I got a feeling.
I got a feeling. I think I know. I think you know too.
I know. Yeah.
I think the right is the older dad.
The older of the granddads. It's got that real old feeling.
It's got a slight must.
Yep. Gosh dang, that's cool.
It is pretty cool.
Yep, that one's got a little more of the musty note, where this one's more your, stuff you've been drinking for the last however many years.
And part of me wonders if maybe part of that must is the fact that this bottle is open.
Oh, sure.
So in part of this process of being able to, clean out the house, looking through bottles, if you find an old bottle, it's imperative that if you're going to be tasting it, that it's got to be over 80 proof.
Oh, sure.
80 proof is really the kind of the line where it's going to stay safe and it's going to last forever, right?
Yep.
Now, when it's open, obviously, that's when things it oxidizes and things start happening to the flavor and smell. And so I think that's kind of why we're starting to. It would be interesting because I do have some other Dusties that I've run across that I haven't opened yet. Does it have
Straight
the
sealed.
same?
Those ones are still sealed.
Still sealed. Bottle early times, bottle of ancient age. It'll be interesting. We'll get into those someday.
Yep.
Have you ever guessed right without even tasting?
No, I don't think so. This time might be the time.
This is the a nose only guess. Are you gonna go that way?
Well, I'm going for it. With this one here,
Tasty.
it's like a vanilla bomb. Just went off in my mouth.
I taste that. It's good.
It's really good.
Now, some people say that the way that the grains were grown back in the day,
Yep.
that it enhances the juice. I don't technically know how that can happen, but I'm enjoying it.
That's incredible. Now I'm gonna try what I believe and you believe. It's current old granddad.
Has a slight little bit more of that ethanol.
Yep.
Punch.
Kind of a fresh crack, kind of a punch to it. And this one's got more of that, almost a peanut vibe to it. Slight peanut shell kind of a vibe to it.
And it tastes fresher, but this is a really good bourbon. And this
So
is
good.
for what, $25 on average for a bottle. I mean, what more can you really ask?
The thing that's nice about this one is like, it's so inexpensive. Like you can pick one of these up for like what, $15, and it's a perfect one for like an old fashioned. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, I always love those crossover bourbons where you feel like, man, I could drink it neat. I could have it with some ice. I could mix it up in a Kentucky Mule or an old fashioned. Love that.
Wow, that's good. Yeah, that's nice. I just can't. For the price, you can find these things for $15 to $17. I think we found this one for $15
Wow, that's
on
a
our
good deal.
trip. Yeah, super good deal. And this would be incredible in an old fashioned.
I would not criticize.
And it's just a good sipper too. Like it's so smooth. Wow.
And again, it helps being 80 proof, right?
Yep.
It'd be interesting, once you get into those higher proofs, do you feel the same way about it? But if you're like me, I always liked Basil Hayden, loved it. And
Yep.
again, this is the same distillate, aged maybe a difference of 3 to 4 years. There's really no age statement on Basil Hayden, and Granddad has never had an age statement. Basil Hayden used to be 8 years. So maybe it's in that 7 to 9 range. Granddad maybe in that 4 range.
Sure.
Who knows? I just do know that the Granddad was originally marketed towards, Basil Hayden was originally marketed towards the Scotch drinkers to try to introduce them into bourbon is kind of the theory there.
That's pretty interesting.
Also, what's interesting is this tax tape.
Okay.
And there's a lot of mysteries that can be solved by looking at the tax tape. whether the color, whether it was an export, import,
Really?
Whether it says ATF on it for alcohol, tobacco, firearms, which is more recent than the bottles that will say IRS, Internal Revenue Service. And we were able to kind of determine that this one was kind of between that 83 to 85 range because of where it says distilled on this side and then spirits on this side. Those were the years in which that occurred. So
Otherwise, it's on one side?
Otherwise, it's on one side and it just says distilled spirits.
Okay.
And then your range is between 1977 and 82.
Oh, wow.
And then another mystery that I had learned in doing homework on this particular bottle is where it was made. And this says Frankfurt, and I'm going to say yours probably says Clermont, if I would be.
I don't know that it says anything.
It could be on the back.
Oh, sorry. You're right. There it is. Claremont, Kentucky.
There it is. And that's where Beam Senatory is distilled. So I knew right away that this was pre-87.
Yep.
And then I did homework on the tax tape and then narrowed it down between 83 and 85.
Dang, that's
Did
cool.
some homework.
I say we proof it up a bit.
I'm in.
Let's see.
And we'll find out if we're right later.
Yeah, we'll find out.
If right was right.
We'll call in our illustrious judges. Wow. Always pour your friends first.
Thank you, sir. Now, we guessed which is the older one.
Yeah.
But you didn't tell me what your favorite one was.
See,
Are we doing favorites,
Let's
or
do it.
do we all love all our children here?
I do love all our children for different reasons. This one, I feel like back in the day, if we were to get a fresh bottle of this bad boy, would blow this one out of the water.
It tastes better to me. Not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Yep. It has, for even being that old, it has a richer flavor.
Yeah, and it's a slight extra sweetness to it,
Yes.
which is weird when you smell it because you're expecting, because your nose is when we
Yep,
smell that must.
musty, yep.
We're not expecting that level of sweetness. But now you kicked it up a notch. What did we kick it to?
We kicked it to we'll start with 100.
The bonded.
The bonded Old Granddad. We'll start there. Now we've switched from the screw top to the cork.
Ooh,
When we get to bonded.
we stepped it up.
We stepped it up. But then we stepped it. No way, it is a cork. Oh.
It is. It's like a big.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's like a big cork.
It's a big daddy cork. I thought it was a screw top again, but
Ooh,
I've never had this.
Neither have I. But it's got a little metal thing on the bottle, right?
Yep.
Which kind of enhances the look and
Yep.
feel, right?
Old Granddad 114, Old Granddad bonded. They stepped it up a couple notches, and we're going to see what we think of this because, again, never had either of them. I haven't had Old Granddad before now.
First time?
Besides the time that you let me try that. This
Yes.
is my first time of any Old Granddad.
Which that was my first time too. Look at that. Look at us. Look at us.
100 down the old sniffer. Okay,
This one smells a
Yeah.
little.
punchier. That's got a lot more of the vanilla, kind of that baking spice like nutmeg, kind of a little bit of tiny bit of cinnamon in there, but not much.
Yeah, way more flavors.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I feel like there's like a little more spice in there.
Yep. So much more complexity. Now I'm getting a little bit of a fruit note too. Wow. That's a step up.
It
as
is.
far
And the
as,
smell is pretty. It's a good smell.
Yeah. Wow. This is a sipper for sure. Like I could sit on the back deck in the middle of spring. Maybe a thunderstorm's rolling in and you can smell that rain. Pour yourself an Old Granddad bonded. You will have yourself a fantastic evening.
Yeah, if you're a bourbon drinker and you love, or maybe back in the day you loved Basil Hayden, I mean, this would be a perfect bottle to be like, yeah, you know,
Right.
it's the same distillate. Yeah, it's different, but if you're more accustomed to drinking that 100 proof or 107,
Yep.
110 range, you're probably going to gravitate more towards this one. And for the price point,
Yeah. This one again was only like 20, 25 bucks.
that's awesome.
It's got legs for days. Incredible mouthfeel. Like it just perfect.
Yeah, I love it when you get that viscosity.
Yep.
It doesn't feel watered down. Yeah, so just, yeah, this is like a, there's like camping bourbon, right? Where you have no other option, right?
Yeah.
And you have to pack something. It's got to be one.
Yep.
Right. This is what I would consider.
Yep.
I would put that in that bucket.
100%. Then you step it up. Old granddad got a little more punch.
It's just cool. It's like it's just like a thicker bottle.
Yep.
We're still OGD.
Yep.
We're still like bourbon man's bourbon.
Right. Here it is. It seems a little darker.
It is. The color is definitely. It looks to be a little more honey, a little more caramel.
Oh, more complexity again. Just off the nose. Dang. Yeah, this one's giving me just maybe a tiny bit more of the oak in it.
This is really good. Oh, holy wow. So do you remember the price point on this bottle?
This one again, I think this one was only 35 to
That's
40.
unbelievable.
Yeah. Some places impossible to find, other places stacks of boxes. It's just crazy.
One of those distribution things.
Yeah,
huh?
kind of like Weller, right? You can't find it to save your life here in Minnesota, but you go down to Texas and it's everywhere.
The land of Weller.
Yep. Wow. The complexity again just steps up a notch. Wow. Yeah, this one's giving you the punch. You can definitely feel that, hey, we're up in the 114 range. It's giving you just the slightest Kentucky hug. The slightest. It's got more oak on it. You're definitely getting that. I wish they had age statements on these bad boys to see, like, does the 114 stay in the barrel longer than bonded, and then also longer than, like, is it a step up in age as they go through it, or is it like, boom, we're cutting it off at 4 or 5 years, whatever it is, and they're all just the same age? That would be interesting.
It would be interesting to learn that. Yeah. There's some bottles and brands that have a little bit of mystery, and that's part of what makes bourbon fun.
Right.
Right? What makes bourbon fun is the history and the mystery, right?
Yep.
So sometimes it's good to learn and know how things change and see how things interweave together as brands move and whatnot. And yeah, I mean, you can even see the color difference between these different bottles.
Yep.
So maybe it's hard to see in the camera, but
yeah, it's definitely different. But wow, this 114,
I like it.
It might be my favorite of all of them. The thing that's nice about like a Dusty is it's just that interesting history piece. And it's a flavor you're never gonna find again because it's so unique and so different. Like the intensity of the vanilla on this, I haven't found in anything else. Now I did have an old E.H. Taylor with my friends from the whiskey library, and that one was a butterscotch bomb. I've never had butterscotch like that old Taylor from way back in the 80s. This
That's
again,
cool.
It's the flavor of the vanilla is just so in your face, and it's so good and smooth. It's just.
And when to open it, that's why it makes these
Right.
things so difficult to open. You want to open bourbon, you want to enjoy it, you want to share it with friends.
But once it's done,
But once
that's
it's
it.
like, but when you know, like, hey, like you can't, like, when it's allocated, you still might. There's like a prayer that you might
Right,
find it,
yep.
right? But when it's an old Dusty, it's like I don't know.
It's done.
It's yeah, it's like
good luck finding an old Dusty.
yeah, things almost old as
That's
old as
crazy.
me.
Wow.
A lot of respect for OGD.
Yep.
I'm
I'm kind of bummed that it took me this long to finally taste them.
a little embarrassed.
Right, me too.
But yeah, I'm down with OGD.
I'm down with OGD.
Yeah,
you
know me.
You know me. All right, I'm gonna call the judges in quick.
And one point of research we should probably do is like, is there anyone else that has, other than the different expressions, like Weller,
Sure.
who has multiple brands or bottles named after them?
Ooh.
Homework I did not have time to do before I showed up here tonight, but I was thinking like, I had no idea that Old Granddad was Basil Hayden. It's kind of cool, right?
That is cool.
We
All right.
so desperately want to be right.
We want to be right.
And it's not just our palates, it's our nose.
The illustrious. Oh, we gotta open the door for him because it's locked. The illustrious judges.
We desperately want to be right.
We want to be right.
Well, what is your guess?
Oh wait, why are there more bottles here?
Because we were trying different things.
We did a bunch
We're
of
bourbon
stuff.
drinkers.
Yeah, we're bourbon drinkers. But you gotta be on the camera.
Oh,
Otherwise, they're not
really?
gonna
Stop
know.
filming?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then.
Otherwise, they're not
Don't
gonna
stop
know.
filming.
Wasn't planned
You never
for
stop. The illustrious judges.
Okay.
Here they are.
We're not judges, we're just
Oh,
the setup crew.
The
Vannas.
The blinders of the bourbon. Bourbon blinders.
Okay, so what
do
are your
you think?
guesses?
Yeah.
This is the.
We think the right one was the
Dusty.
old one.
Okay.
And then this guy is, well, the opposite.
Correct.
Bourbon
guys.
nose wins. We guessed before we even
Just
sipped.
off the nose.
Just off
Oh
the
really?
nose.
Just because
yeah.
it smelled
Here, have the
dustier?
last-
There just was
just-
a slight must to it.
Boom, there you go.
Well,
A musty dusty,
Musty,
right?
dusty.
But when you tasted it, it was still great.
it was still incredible.
That's
Vanilla bomb.
okay.
Now, we think our favorite is the 114.
Ooh,
it's pretty good.
that is good.
Yep.
Nice.
So there you have it.
Good job.
Don't act like you're not impressed.
You know your dust.
Thanks a billion for subscribing. Or wait, for just watching the video. Now, if you haven't subscribed, which a few of you aren't that are watching this,
Yeah.
just take a second. Hit that subscribe button. Also, hit the like button. Appreciate you. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will see you in the next video. Cheers.